Good afternoon. How are you all doing? It's been a minute, and I wanted to swing by real quick and do a quick fire off update gab with you. When I tell you it has been crazy, it has been crazy and deranged. Do you hear me? Quick GLP update. I am down 24 pounds, and I think I'm at the point of maintenance because I have not gone up or gone down in over a month, and I am very comfortable in a size 12, 14. I don't want to get any smaller or bigger than this. Let's talk about church people real quick. So the last time I talked to you all, the weekend after that, a scandal erupted up here, right? So what happened was one of the bishops in our city, he has been having an affair with a 24-year-old, right? Allegedly, and I say that word generously, allegedly, the 21-year-old, he has HIV. And the scary part is that all of this happened because the 21-year-old had another boyfriend that was in his same age group, and the boyfriend was over at with the 21-year-old and found some HIV or PrEP medications or something like that, and he went off. Well, to spite the guy, he uploaded a video of the bishop and the 21-year-old boy having sexual relations. This was a very explicit video. The bishop wearing a gimp mask and saying all kinds of vulgar stuff. I mean, it is disgusting, right? And so, of course, church community here went crazy, right? Because you ain't about to be preaching over no people and all of this, and you running around doing stuff like this, with a gay 21-year-old lover that's old enough, young enough to be your child, and turns to find out the child been living with this man ever since he was 16, 17 years old because he was getting in a lot of trouble. And then he asked for the child to live with him and turns to find out he is banging the kid. It's disgusting. I mean, even thinking about it now makes me nauseous, but just navigating that situation because it's fragile for another number of reasons when it comes to ministry and when it comes to business. It was a very fragile situation that had to be navigated, and it was stressful, aggravating, enraging because my brain went back to how many of these scandals do we need in order for these people to stop? I'm serious. Then on the other hand, I just feel like the Black church has gone completely off the rails. We have way too many pastors admitting to drinking. A man said he was out for his birthday, got him a room, got him a pickle. I don't know what a pickle got to do with anything, but anyway, got him a pickle. Somebody alleged that he had the pickle and was using it like a phallus, um, and accused him of being gay. I mean, but he was like, I wanted to get drunk for my birthday. I mean, when did we get to the point that we just accept pedophilia? We accept homosexuality, we accept drunkenness, and I just keep saying the same thing over and over again. Like, we were manipulated as a church about, oh, you need to accept people. The church's supposed to be about love. You aren't supposed to beat people up before they change. So the enemy did his big one when it came to manipulating churches, Black churches. He did his big one. And what ended up happening, I can tell you now what ended up happening. The church didn't peep that they were being manipulated. And because of that, now all kinds of nasty, funky, stank stuff going on. And it's gone off the rails to the point they can't even stop it. Because they're like, well, we don't want to lose no money or nothing. And they pay their tithes and everything. But they may be paying you, but they want you to tear it up and contradict the word and all of this stuff. So how many times can we keep seeing the same situation before we realize we have to go in a new direction? And I just believe that something pretty catastrophic, worse than Trump would have to happen in order for that to take place. I don't think that Trump is a wicked enough ruler for the Black church to get in line again and for them to start believing the word or start giving their life back to Christ. I think in order for them to get back to it, it would have to be something tragic on an epic level. It would have to be severe. But anywho, then I saw this thing about Carn going around, and the way I feel about that is the following. I am happily paying my taxes at this point. I would never complain about paying taxes because I now realize that paying my taxes, it is the only way that something will be done about some of these leaders. As long as I'm paying my taxes, that means police officers are employed, the Justice Department, they're in business, and investigators and, solicitors and all of them, AGs, attorney generals, all of them are still working as long as I'm paying my taxes. As long as I'm paying my taxes, there is at least some sliver of hope or chance that they will do something about the church leaders, because the new doctrinal belief when it comes to the church, they don't believe in corrections, internally, and they don't believe in consequences internally. So the only way I would get to see any kind of justice, see children protected, see, families protected, people not being taken advantage of and led astray, I have to happily pay my taxes, and hopefully that will help some. Let it be dealt with that way, because the Black church definitely not going to do about it. The Black church will gossip about it, but the Black church itself is just not a unit or entity that believe in actual action at this time in this era, and I get that. I saw the whole video about the guy who was touching on his son and stuff on camera, and then wanted to be in denial and all of this. It's just, again, it goes back to, it's disgusting. I'm sorry. It's disgusting. I mean, and again, he allowed to stay there because we have, realistically, we have passively accepted, shown through our actions that we accept pedophilia. And I don't care how anyone cares. I really don't care what nobody think anymore. I don't care about their feelings no more neither. I care about their feelings about as much as they care about the innocent. I care about as much about their feelings as they care about the people who are sincere in their faith and want to do the right thing. That's how much I care about their feelings. The same amount they care about those people's feelings. They don't. They just bully them out and call them old, outdated, ignorant, religious, and all of this. But what they can't call them are reprobates and apostates. So I don't care about their feelings. And the reality is, like I said, that we as a church culture, as a Black church culture, we have accepted pedophilia. We have accepted adultery. We have accepted lust. We have accepted theft. We've accepted these things. We have accepted divination, and we don't have a problem with it for the right price. That's it. That's all. When it comes to Trump and ICE, well, what do you want us to say? Like, really, like, we had already said that this was going to happen. So what are we supposed to say? Nothing. Say the same thing we've been saying, which is nothing. When it comes to the Epstein files, I do have some thoughts about that. And it is the following, that if we don't, as a country, I'm not talking about the church right now. If we're, as a country, if we don't really take a strong position about it and seek criminal charges and prosecution, then it put minors at risk nationwide, because what's going to happen, it sends a passive messaging and communication to pedophiles that the country is okay with it and they're not going to protect children. And so because of that, I think that we have no choice right now but to take a very strong position and make sure that we get charges, make sure that we get convictions, because those are real victims and they deserve justice. They were children, they were just minors. And so I just believe that we have to do a better job of being louder and more aggressive about that particular case. So I'm gonna close with this. I did make the mistake of downloading the initial Epstein book. And for me, it reminded me of when my great great grandfather, he used to have this briefcase. Now, I didn't realize until years and years and years later that this stuff that I was looking at in his briefcase, it stuff associated with alchemy, it's stuff associated with like Rosicrucian, all of these ancient arts and stuff that my great great grandfather had in his briefcase. And I remember being small, can't read, maybe 4 or 5 years old, and looking at those things and immediately identifying that those are, I didn't know the word for it, but I knew they were bad, or um, as an adult, I would consider them occultic or otherworldly, witchcraft, divination, things along that, esoteric. That's the word I'm looking for. And I was a child and could look at it and discern immediately what I was looking at. And it was some years ago. I was at a religious studies seminar, and they were saying how the science of math really found its origins in occultism and esoteric knowledge. And that Pythagorean and all of these different people, what they were really doing were working on dimensions for different things, and it came through occultic practices. And so math, you have to be careful with numbers and things. So they weren't talking about numerology, neither. They were talking about the process of addition, subtraction, and different things. Levels of math really have their origins in esoteric knowledge. And so I say all that for a reason. Reading the Epstein initial book to me read like a spell book. It read like a codex. It didn't read like a normal book or memory book. If you downloaded it, you saw how there were certain formulas, certain words, and they were written like greetings or whatever, but there would be a corresponding image of an explicit act and or children, or mentioning of children. And so for me, when I was reading it, each one of the person's submissions, or each person, were corresponding for a specific role or responsibility in that ritual or practice. That's what I believe. I mean, because you even had stuff with bestiality and stuff in that book, and it goes back to very dark magic, and you can tell that some form of magic or something is going on in the United States, because there's no question a lot of these people, we've been having conversations about it. You can tell they're bewitched. There's no questioning about it. And so when you have certain conversations, if a person hasn't done any religious studies or really go back to look at how things function, they wouldn't notice these things. But I said I unfortunately read it, meaning that I opened it, and I think there's more risk and harm in the more people who download it and open it. And I think they know that, because people reading it, looking at it just for the salacious, ooh, who's involved? Who else? Without realizing this is a whole practice, and they needed the children for sex magic. It wasn't just a kink or an appetite. It's actual magic, something ancient and old that they're getting into. And when I think about it, it's about I don't know if you remember it or not. It's in the Bible, and they talk about the children being passed over the fire for Baal, and the description of how children were used in Baal worship. And that's pretty much what Epstein files and Epstein was into, and also his friends and those who also indulged as well. Um, In closing, what I can say, cover yourself in prayer, cover your children in prayer, stay in the word, start believing the word again, and start living the word like you never did before. And that's it. That's all. Are you prepared for Lent? I am. I am. So can't wait to read y'all comments. Take care. Good hearing from you. Take care, Shug. Bye.